Hey everybody, this is R.E.S. Gans for Literary Gladiators, and today I'm going to be going over another episode in my Agatha Christie series. This next book is one of the more famous ones. It's called The ABC Murders, and I must say, it's definitely one of Agatha Christie's dark horse stories, and I can tell you that this one is underappreciated, but it's very, very good, and this is one of the few that Agatha Christie has written where it fooled me until about three quarters to maybe a little bit more into the book, and basically until Poirot revealed that who it was and how it worked out, and it's fascinating. So the way this one works is that Poirot, being a private detective, he gets a letter from someone saying basically that on a certain day he's gonna kill someone in a town that begins with A. I forget the exact name of the town, but a town that begins with A. And Poirot's like, well, it's a letter. It could just be a madman. But then what happens is there is in fact a murder. Someone named Asher, a German storekeeper, a woman, is beaten to death with a blunt object. And so the letter comes true, and then of course the case opens. Poirot later gets a letter saying that someone with the letter B is going to get murdered in a town that begins with the letter B. I think may have been Brighton or something like that. That happens. So a young girl is strangled and is killed on a beach in that area, and her name began with a B. So now at this point we're looking at someone who is putting murders, and literally these letters are taunting Poirot. They're like, can you solve this one, Poirot? Can you do this, Poirot? Can you do that, Poirot? And Hastings and Japp are all over the place trying to figure out what's going on. And then finally what happens is that a murder is explained in a town that begins with the letter C. And the guy who is killed, he also begins with the letter C. And at that point, Poirot was like, okay, we need to get together. And all the people who were affected by the first three deaths, including the daughter of the German person who was killed, some of the people who were associated with the second woman, and the brother of the third person whose name was Clark, and his secretary or assistant or whatever, are all kind of grouped together when they get another letter saying that there's going to be a murder in Doncaster. Now, there's a horse race in Doncaster, and they all go to the horse race to see what happens, but it turns out that the murder does not take place at the horse race. It takes place in a movie theater. And things go crazy. However, it has been found out that there is another person who isn't even related. His name is Alexander Bonaparte Cust, who he is apparently charged with killing all of these people because he was seen selling stockings to those specific people at the first three people anyway, like a couple hours before their murder. And he was also seen at the movie theater where this last person was killed as well. So Cust is an epileptic, and he's a schizophrenic. And this is a post-traumatic problem. So what happens is that he doesn't remember the fact that he kills people. He doesn't remember the fact that he does certain things. He doesn't remember the fact, that all these things happen. So of course he gets arrested because he was circumstantial evidence put them in all four places, and there was also a portion in the book where it says that he had a bloody knife in his pocket. So with all that evidence, he's arrested. Cust is arrested, and Poirot goes to meet with Cust. I believe it's in jail. And Cust explains that he must have killed everyone, but he doesn't understand why. He explains to Poirot that he doesn't, he isn't there. Like, It's not the kind of... He just doesn't understand why he would do something like that. And Poirot immediately realizes that Cuss did not commit these murders. He was planted in those 4 places and taken advantage by somebody. I'm not going to tell you who that somebody is, or the motive, or why it was done, but I can tell you it is one of the people that I mentioned earlier. It's either the daughter of the German person, or the 2 people associated with the B killing, or the brother of the C killing, or the assistant of the C killing. It's one of those people who is the mastermind behind everything that's going on. And yeah, it's a fascinating story. The ABC murders. Poirot is on top form, and this is one of the few stories where this actually fooled me to the very end, because I really thought, though, with the amount of pages remaining in the book, that I usually judge it like that Cuss was going to be arrested, and that would have been it. But like in the last 20 or 30 pages, it is revealed it is someone else. It is quite fascinating. I want to say that the guy who, he might have taken his own life, I can't remember, but I know that the man or the woman who had, set up this whole thing. It's a very dastardly thing. So, let's go with the cast of characters. So, as I've said, the people who have been murdered were all people beginning with the same letter of the town. So, an A person was killed in an A town, a B person was killed in a B town, a C person was killed in a C town. It's not mentioned if the person who was killed in Doncaster began with D. I don't think he was. I think it was just a random person or a businessman or something. I don't really remember, but it was to throw off everything deliberately. Obviously, there's Poirot and Hastings and Japp. They're all in there. Well, at least 2 of them are anyway. You've got Cust, who is, like I said, epileptic, schizophrenic, that kind of stuff. And he's basically taken advantage of in this story. You have the daughter of the first victim. She is German of heritage, and she's very calm and polite. You've got I believe the sister and the husband of the sister, or something like that, of the B person, who they are very resentful actually, but they are they're close with their sister still. And then you've got the C people, which I believe their name were Clark. I think that was the name, was Clark. The brother of Clark and the assistant, whose name was Gray. Her last name was Gray. They also were very on good terms with the person that died. So it's hard to see at first which of them actually did it, but it will become clear if you read the book. So for the ABC Murders, if I were to give it a 5-star rating with half stars per minute, this one's going to get a very high rating, because it was very hard to figure out the answer in this one. I also think that it's very underrated. I think that just having the idea of planting someone at certain spots who doesn't know what's going on is a good way to take advantage and to also taunt Poirot in this way. I'm going to give this one a very high 4.5 out of 5. I would absolutely 100% recommend this particular Agatha Christie serial. This one is quite astonishing, and I think that if there's an Agatha Christie that you might want to start with, I'm not sure if this is the best one, because it's so complex, but when you get more into Agatha Christie and you understand her nuances and understand how she writes, this is definitely a story you do not want to miss. This is an excellent story. So, I am R.E.S. Gans, signing off for Literary Gladiators. Next time on the Agatha Christie series, I'll be going over Death in the Clouds, which is one of my favorite Agatha Christie stories. And I will see you guys next time, and for now, keep reading.